The reflection staring back at me was a stranger. I barely recognized the man in the mirror. His eyes were dull, his shoulders slumped, and there was a heaviness in his face that hadn't been there before. It was as if the years had crept up on me overnight, stealing away the energy and confidence I once took for granted. At 52, I felt ancient. Every morning was a battle, my joints ached, and I was always tired. Even simple movements felt like a chore, and I dreaded getting out of bed because I knew pain would greet me before my feet even touched the floor. The fatigue was relentless, a constant fog that dulled my mind and made every day feel like an uphill climb. The spark I once had for my career and family was gone. I was just going through the motions. I'd sit at the kitchen table, lost in thought, barely hearing the laughter and conversation around me. My family noticed, but I didn't have the words to explain how empty I felt inside. Work, too, became a routine. No excitement, no drive, just a sense of obligation. Doctor visits became lectures about my weight and blood pressure, leaving me feeling like a failure. Each appointment was a reminder of how far I'd let myself go, and the advice always sounded the same: eat less, move more, try harder. But no one seemed to understand how hard I was already trying, or how hopeless it felt. I tried every diet, cutting calories, low-fat plans, but nothing worked for long. I'd lose a few pounds, only to gain them back, sometimes even more. The frustration of watching my efforts unravel was crushing, and every new plan felt like another setup for disappointment. The scale barely moved, and disappointment became routine. I started to dread stepping on it, knowing I'd see the same stubborn number staring back at me. It was as if my body was working against me, refusing to cooperate no matter what I did. My breaking point came one morning, breathless just from tying my shoes. I sat there, gasping, heart pounding, wondering how I'd let things get this far. It was a wake-up call I couldn't ignore, a moment that forced me to confront the reality of my health. It wasn't just about weight anymore, it was about my life, my family, and my future. I realized that if I didn't make a change, I might not be around to see my kids grow up or enjoy the years ahead with my wife. The thought of missing out on those moments terrified me. I was too young to feel this old. I knew deep down that I still had so much life left to live, but my body was holding me back. I wanted to feel strong again, to wake up with energy and purpose, not dread and exhaustion. That frustration became my fuel. I decided I couldn't keep living like this, letting each day slip by in a haze of regret and self-doubt. I needed to channel my anger and disappointment into something positive, something that could actually change my life. I was done with vague advice and diets that didn't work for someone my age. I needed real answers, a plan that took into account the changes my body had gone through. No more one-size-fits-all solutions or empty promises. My metabolism and hormones had changed. I needed a new approach. I started researching, reading everything I could about health after 50 and talking to people who'd been through the same struggles. I realized I wasn't alone. There were others out there fighting the same battle. I decided to reclaim my health no matter what it took. I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't give up, even when it got hard. I started making small changes, moving more, eating better, and focusing on what my body needed, not just what the latest trend suggested. I didn't know the path yet, but I was determined to find it. Every step forward, no matter how small, was a victory. I learned to celebrate progress instead of perfection, and to forgive myself for setbacks. I refused to accept this as my new normal. I knew I was capable of more, and I wasn't ready to give up on myself or my future. The fight wasn't over, it was just beginning. I was tired of feeling powerless. I wanted to take control, to prove to myself that change was possible even at 52. I owed it to myself and to the people who loved me. My life depended on making a change, and for the first time in a long time I truly believed I could do it. My search for answers led me deep into nutrition research. I spent countless evenings poring over articles, books, and scientific journals, determined to find a solution that made sense for my body and my life. The more I read, the more I realized how much conflicting advice was out there. Low-fat, low-calorie, plant-based, high-protein. It was overwhelming, but I was determined to cut through the noise and find something that truly resonated with me. That's when I discovered the ketogenic diet, a way to change my body's fuel source from carbs to fat. The idea was both simple and revolutionary. By drastically reducing carbohydrates, I could encourage my body to burn fat for energy instead of relying on sugar. It felt like unlocking a secret that had been hidden in plain sight. Instead of starving myself, I'd eat real food and let my body burn fat for energy. No more bland, unsatisfying meals or constant hunger. I could enjoy hearty, nourishing foods, meals that left me feeling full and satisfied, not deprived. The science was clear: cut carbs, and your body enters ketosis, burning fat for fuel. I learned about the metabolic switch that happens when you limit carbs, and how it could help with weight loss, energy, and even mental clarity. It was empowering to understand the why behind the process. Healthy fats, avocados, olive oil, nuts, fatty fish became the foundation. I stocked my kitchen with these nourishing foods, learning to cook in new ways and discovering flavors I'd never truly appreciated before. Each meal became an opportunity to fuel my body with intention. It was a radical shift from the low-fat advice I'd always heard. For years I'd been told to avoid fat at all costs, but now I was embracing it as a vital part of my diet. It took time to unlearn old habits and trust this new approach, but the logic was undeniable. No more counting every calorie, just focus on keeping carbs under 20 grams a day. I started tracking my meals, learning to read labels, and becoming more mindful of what I put on my plate. It was liberating to let go of calorie obsession and focus on quality instead. For the first time, I felt hope instead of fear. The anxiety I'd always felt around food began to fade, replaced by a sense of possibility. I could see a path forward that didn't involve constant struggle or disappointment. I committed to this new path. Every day I made small choices that added up, choosing healthy fats, skipping the bread, planning my meals. It wasn't always easy, but each step brought me closer to my goals. I had nothing to lose but the weight and exhaustion. The more I stuck with it, the more I noticed changes, not just on the scale, but in my energy, my mood, and my confidence. It was about so much more than numbers. This was about transformation, not deprivation. I was building a new relationship with food and with myself, one rooted in self-care and respect. I set a clear rule: under 20 grams of carbs daily. It became my anchor, a simple guideline that kept me focused and accountable, even on tough days. I was finally taking control. For the first time in years, I felt empowered to shape my own health and future, one mindful choice at a time. Armed with a new mindset and a sense of determination, I stepped into the grocery store feeling as if I was about to explore a completely unfamiliar world. The automatic doors slid open and I took a deep breath, ready to face the aisles with a fresh perspective. Every shelf and every product seemed different, almost as if I was seeing them for the first time. The store, once so familiar, now felt like foreign territory, full of both challenge and opportunity. The bakery and snack aisles, which used to call my name with the promise of comfort and indulgence, were now off limits. But instead of feeling deprived, I was surprised to find a strange sense of freedom in walking past them. It was as if I was breaking invisible chains that had held me for years. I turned my attention to the vibrant produce section, filling my cart with leafy greens, bell peppers, broccoli, cauliflower, and avocados, foods I'd once ignored or even avoided. The colors and freshness of these vegetables felt inviting, and I realized I was building a new relationship with food, one that was rooted in nourishment rather than habit. Reading labels became my new habit. I found myself carefully scanning each package, focusing only on total carbs and ingredients I could actually pronounce. It was a small act, but it gave me a sense of control and awareness I'd never had before. The meat and fish counters, once a quick stop, now became a place of discovery. Beef, chicken, pork, salmon, these were no longer foods to feel guilty about, but real, nourishing options that fit my new lifestyle. I realized that eating well didn't have to mean sacrificing flavor or satisfaction. Bacon and salmon became staples in my cart, and for the first time I felt a sense of abundance rather than restriction. My choices were expanding, not shrinking, and I was excited to try new recipes and flavors. My cart was now filled with whole, unprocessed foods. No boxes, no bags, just real ingredients. It was a visual reminder of the changes I was making, and it felt empowering to see the difference right there in front of me. The cost at the checkout was about the same as before, but the contents of my cart were worlds apart. Instead of processed snacks and sugary treats, I was investing in foods that would truly nourish my body. This first shopping trip was more than just an errand, it was a declaration of my commitment to change. Each item I chose was a small promise to myself, a step toward a healthier future. I realized I was investing not just in groceries but in my health and my future. The sense of pride and hope I felt was something I hadn't experienced in a long time. The journey had officially begun, one grocery cart at a time. Each trip to the store would be another opportunity to reinforce my new habits and celebrate my progress. I even found myself lingering by the cookbook section, searching for inspiration and new ways to prepare the foods I was now embracing. Cooking, once a chore, was starting to feel like an adventure. With every choice I was saying goodbye to old habits and embracing a new way of living. It wasn't always easy, but each decision felt meaningful. The store was no longer a place of temptation but a place of possibility. I started to see the aisles as filled with opportunities to nourish myself rather than pitfalls to avoid. My focus shifted from what I couldn't eat to what I could. I was excited to discover new foods, experiment with flavors, and enjoy meals that supported my goals. This mental shift was crucial. It was the foundation for lasting change, and I could feel my confidence growing with every step. As I left the store, bags in hand and heart full of hope, I felt proud and ready for the journey ahead. This was just the beginning, and I knew I was on the right path. The first days were all about relearning meals. Breakfast was now eggs with spinach and cheese, sometimes bacon or avocado, surprisingly filling. The mid-morning snack cravings vanished. Lunch meant big salads with grilled chicken or salmon, cheese, nuts, and full-fat dressing. Leftovers became my go-to for easy, healthy lunches. Preparation was key. Cooking extra at dinner made lunch effortless. Dinner was creative. Steak with cauliflower mash, bunless burgers and lettuce, roasted chicken with veggies. The formula was simple: moderate protein, low-carb veggies, plenty of healthy fat. My family even enjoyed these meals with me. I focused on keeping carbs under 20 grams, not counting calories. I ate when hungry, stopped when full, a revelation. Cravings for sweets and starches faded. For the first time, I listened to my body's real hunger signals. It wasn't about willpower anymore. The results were starting to show. About a week in, I woke up feeling awful. Headache, dizziness, fatigue. It felt like the flu and I was discouraged. I questioned if keto was right for me, tempted to quit and eat carbs. The cravings for sugar came roaring back. I spent the day in bed exhausted and doubting my decision. Maybe this was too much for someone my age. The mental battle was intense. I nearly gave up. I thought, no diet should make you feel this sick. The keto flu was real, and it felt like a betrayal. I was scared I was harming my body. That evening I decided to research one last time before quitting. I needed to understand what was happening. My journey was at a crossroads. I had to choose, give up, or push through. I chose to dig deeper. My research revealed the truth. The keto flu was just an electrolyte imbalance. Cutting carbs flushes out water and essential minerals, sodium, potassium, magnesium. My symptoms were classic signs of depletion, not illness. The fix was simple: replenish electrolytes. I drank salted water, ate more avocados and spinach, and took a magnesium supplement. Within an hour my headache eased and my mind cleared. The next morning I felt dramatically better. I made electrolytes a daily habit. Salted water, potassium-rich foods, magnesium. I learned to listen to my body's signals. Keto isn't just about carbs, it's about balance. Conquering the keto flu was a turning point. I faced the challenge, found a solution, and didn't give up. This victory gave me confidence to continue. I was ready for the long haul. After the keto flu, the changes came fast. The scale finally moved, 15 pounds lost in the first month, especially from my stubborn belly. My blood sugar dropped into the healthy range and my blood pressure normalized. These were real, measurable results. My clothes fit better, I tightened my belt by 3 notches. My face looked leaner, my energy soared, and the afternoon slump disappeared. I woke up refreshed, with steady energy all day. The brain fog lifted. I felt sharper and more focused. My mood improved, irritability faded, and I felt calm. I was no longer just surviving, I was thriving. The combination of weight loss, better health, and renewed energy was transformative. I saw proof that this new way of eating worked. I was finally in control of my health. The transformation was more than physical, it was emotional. Relief replaced years of anxiety about my health. I felt proud of my discipline and commitment. Every healthy choice was a small victory. My confidence grew, spilling into all areas of life. I was no longer a passive victim of aging. I started planning for an active future, hiking, playing with grandkids, traveling. The years ahead looked like opportunity, not decline. I learned I could change my health trajectory. Empowerment was the greatest gift of keto. I became the architect of my own well-being. I wish I'd found this sooner, but I'm grateful I found it now. If you feel stuck, know it's never too late to change. Age isn't a barrier, it's a reason to start. Keep it simple, under 20 grams of carbs per day. Build meals around protein, low-carb veggies, and healthy fats. Prepare for the keto flu. Get enough electrolytes from day one. Add salt to your food and water. Eat avocados and spinach. Consider magnesium. Hydrate well. Discomfort in the first week is temporary. Talk to your doctor, especially if you're on medication. Keto can improve blood sugar and pressure, so medical supervision is key. Find support. Share your goals. Join a community. Don't compare your journey to others. Progress is personal. There will be challenges, but the rewards are worth it. You have the power to write a new chapter for your health. Take the first step. Your future self will thank you.